box.
Hello and welcome to Con Air, the podcast. I am Mark Sandstorm Hoffmeyer.
And I am Jay, Department of Corrections Cluett. Welcome you aboard Con Air Chapter 13. On this show, Mark and I are flying through Con Air one scene at a time. And in scene 13, let me tell you what happens. The jailbird lands at Carson City amid a sandstorm and finds a heavily guarded bus full of additional convicts for the flight. Poe makes a show of pretending to obtain his photo of Casey from Falzon, while secretly placing Sim's audio recorder inside his prison fatigues. Amongst others, new inmates Cindino, Swamp Thing, Sally Can't Dance, Viking and Conrad board the jailbird, and in the cockpit, Swamp Thing disconnects the transponder, wires it to a battery, and hands it to Pinball, who heads to a hangar and plants it under a seat of Bob's Scenic Tours, before he is interrupted by Female Baggage Handler. That is her character name. In Cyrus's cell, Larkin finds a letter in Spanish from a law firm in Bogota, Colombia, and Guard Renfro finds two pictures of the Last Supper where the eyes have been cut out of the faces. That's what happens in this chapter. Lots going on, new characters arriving, some departing. We need someone to help us talk about it. Mark, who is joining us for Chapter 13 of Con Air?
And joining us is someone who also always forgets that there's a fire truck chase at the end of this movie. It's Jeanette Ward.
Fire truck chase. Thank you, gentlemen. What an honor, what a pleasure. I am neither a spitter nor a fighter, and would prefer to not be bagged and or gagged. So thank you very much.
Earliest bleep I've had to put in an episode. Thank you.
What's the TV version of Spitter and
Pooper?
Would it be like Crapper and Flapper? Like we have a bunch of flappers and crappers on this board. Like is that? I want to hear that. I want to hear John Malkovich say we got a lot of flappers and crappers here.
And crappers.
I think that's an acceptable substitution, right? Gotta mean the same thing.
A lot of flap. So you're saying that everybody on this flight was a flapper and crapper, and so you had to duct tape everybody's mouths and put a bag over their head.
Or just
you got these six off and 6 on? Are my numbers right?
6 off and 10 on.
6 off, 10 on.
Yes.
And of the 6 they're taking off, 3 of them they got correctly. 3 of them are dead. They've replaced with other folks.
Yep. So Old Con is replacing Popovich. Falzon and the pilot are replacing. Oh my God! Why can't I remember their names? We've said it so many times in the past few weeks.
Carls
and Benson. Thank you.
Benson. Yeah.
Benson and Carls. Yeah. So Falzon. We're losing almost losing Falzon in this chapter, and I'd love Falzon. And the pilot is gone. Never see the pilot ever again. So
are all 6 that they take off the plane bagged and gagged?
They are all bagged and gagged because in the previous chapter, or a couple of weeks ago, Cyrus gagged them and bagged them because he didn't want any of them getting a sudden crisis of conscience and alerting the people in the bus about what they had done. And he couldn't trust them because they're convicts. Because that had been Poe's plan. He had been planning to get off the bus, kick off a fuss.
Yes.
Something else that rhymes
let
with
everyone
bus.
know what was happening.
And yeah.
I will say this chapter has some pretty fantastic visuals when it begins. The cops all standing around the bus, that sandstorm coming in, and Mark Mancina's score. I love a big-time 90s action movie Mark Mancina score. Bad Boys, one of my favorites, to the point where I have downloaded the Bad Boys theme and play it regularly.
So if we ever meet, I'm just gonna play that theme whenever you walk into a room. Like just let me go in 20 seconds beforehand and I'll blare it.
Yeah.
And then you can walk in slow motion, tie your shoe, then stand up and be like, it just got real.
Well, yes,
like
and you have to slowly circle around me with the camera.
Yeah. I'll have my phone. I'll do the whole thing. We'll Michael Bay it for you.
Well, as long as I don't have to go running down a street with my shirt open. Then I guess we're good.
We'll cut that. You'll be at the end already at the end of the bridge. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, you run out, then run in. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
I counted 17 guards surrounding the bus, and there must be 4 or 5.
I did not pause. I was struck by the visual. I thought that was a really cool look for a moment.
We'll get to things I paused later in this chapter.
Oh, no.
But I spent too much time for chapter 13. But yeah, so there must be 4 or 5 behind the bus as well. They're fully circling it. So we're looking at like 22 guards for 6 prisoners that off, 10 on. That must be a fun bus with all 10 of these wild card prisoners.
10 prisoners currently on the bus that are going to come off.
I mean, this is like a Michael Myers situation here. This is, they are surrounding the bus, and then the airplane lands in a sandstorm, and you can see the airplane in front of the guys standing in their slickers in a sandstorm surrounding a bus with 10 people on it.
That's a good pilot.
Sand dusters, sand coats as opposed to raincoats, right?
Yeah, sand coats.
Like that pilot.
You gotta have my sand coat.
That pilot has no co-pilot and is under severe stress because of
severe duress. Yes.
All of the convicts with guns, well, there's a couple of guns at this point, recently pointed at his head, and yet he still does this textbook landing in a sandstorm.
Yes.
Like, this is impressive.
Hire this guy.
Yeah, this pilot is perhaps maybe underrated to this point. Like, doing a good job.
So if we're doing MVPs of this movie so far, Pinball's number one.
Pinball's number one.
Because of his clipboard work.
I mean, it's the whole thing. The coughing up of the fire, of the flammable, the making of the fire. He's busy with the transport of this chapter. He's the Scott Caan, Casey Affleck of this group, like doing all of the busy
work. What an exceptional parallel. That's fantastic.
And this is really random, but Aaron Newirth, who was a guest on Con Air, and Joey Lewandowski, who was a guest on this episode, they were just talking about how Scott Caan and Casey Affleck are the most underappreciated characters of that trilogy because they get into it.
They do.
Get a lot done.
They do so much. And I mean, the reason that film franchise was top of my list is because we meet another character, Starkey, is the guy that Cyrus is talking to on the ground. He's played by Dylan Haggerty, who's been in a bunch of stuff. He's got loads of credits, like 31 films he's in. But writer, producer, director on a bunch of stuff. But he had one thing stood out to me. Mark, how do you become... God damn it. When I was looking at this a few hours ago, it just said additional crew and unspecified. But he was and I spent ages trying to look at what he did. He was the production office assistant on Ocean's 13.
Oh, that's great.
So, but like, earlier today, it was just like additional crew, nothing selected. I was like, well, what does this mean? What did he do? And now hours have gone by and it's here. I'm so frustrated.
That's crazy. So you want to know how you get your name on additional crew?
Yeah. What goes under that?
That was me a lot. So sometimes I got hired to do, just like background production assistant. So on Goosebumps, I did monsters. But on other jobs, I would just bounce around. So I would go to the Splinter unit, and then I would go to second unit. Then I would go to first unit. Then I would bop over to a second unit. So you couldn't put me as
first unit, second unit, third unit.
Yeah, exactly. So you just put additional crew. Just chuck my name somewhere in the credits and do that because I had no like specific role. So most of those people in the credits, sorry if I'm being reductive, if you two know this. But like most of the people in the crew, to like be under production assistant, you just kind of have to be hired on in the beginning, or just become staff. So then you get on there. But for me, I never wanted to do a full show. I just kind of popped in and out. So then that's how you land on additional crew.
Nice. So you are a professional additional crew.
Well, that's how I got work so much in Atlanta because everyone knew I wasn't trying to steal steal a job.
Aha,
but they knew they could.
Clever.
Yeah, they knew they could bring me in and trust me. Like here's Mark's here. Give him 40 cars. Give him 100 extras. He's cool. But they knew that like I was always like, guys, I only want to work like 4 days. Like just bring me in for these 4 days. All right, I'll stay for a fifth, but then I'm out of here. Like so they were like, okay, bring in Hoffmeyer. He won't try to steal our job because everybody was trying to steal each other's jobs in the industry. And so then there was just me who was like, I gotta work a fifth day. They would trick me into coming back. They're like, oh, Mark, you're here for 2 days. So, hey, can you come back Wednesday? Yeah, I can come back Wednesday. Come back Thursday, Mark.
A lot of clipboard action involved in that.
Yeah, I was a big time clipboarder, and I was a big time call sheeter. Where if I was bored drinking coffee, I would just bust out the call sheet and look at it, and people are like, oh, Mark's really busy. And I would just look around. I would look at things. I would stand by with my arms behind my back. That means you're serious.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's various poses you can do on film sets to make it look like you're doing more than just drinking coffee.
You roll your sleeves up.
Behind the back. This is a revelation for me.
Yeah. Everybody on set's like, man, Mark's like, he has some deep thoughts about what's next. But probably in my head, I'm like,
look
like,
how he's standing like Lawrence Fishburne in The Matrix.
I'm like, these shoes are pretty comfy. That's what's inside my head. Like, I wonder what we're having for lunch. I was like, man, Mark must be really thinking about the next setup.
I love it.
But no, in my head, I'm thinking about like, did I put too much cream in this coffee? Should I go put more coffee in? How do you equal it out? Like, that's the That was me most of the time on film sets thinking about coffee.
There's that, and there's the roll your sleeves up and just stride somewhere purposely with a bit of paper.
Yes. Grab a ladder and just walk. Like, you just walk 100 yards with a ladder.
And then walk back in.
Argue with that.
Yeah.
Mark's been walking back and forth with that ladder for an hour now. He's busy. Don't touch him.
Just be like Mark. He's over there walking with a ladder. Like, why can't you
do your job?
Like him? Yeah. Everyone grab a ladder. Oh man! And then I would wait for people to kind of get done, and then I would run in at the end. Oh, you guys need something? No, we're just done. Oh, cool.
She's a ladder.
I'm here if you need anything. All right, bye.
I got your back.
Ladder over to the other setup.
This is the key. When everyone was exhausted, so I ate real healthy, and so I didn't load up on sugar. At the end of the night, I didn't start consuming all the salt chips like people did. So I would have more energy towards the end of the night. So I could just drink coffee all day, and when people are lagging at the 11th, 12th hour, I would step it up. And so no one would remember that I didn't do much during the first 11 hours, and so they would just remember me at the final when I'm like, I'll stay late, I got you guys. Here, I'll carry this. Give me this. Oh, it's a lightning storm, and you want me to hang out in the back of a grip truck? So for an hour, so then I can load up fans? Yeah, I can do that. And so everyone would be like, man, Mark's great. And they would just forget that I consume most of the coffee on set for 11 hours.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The insight for getting.
Write it down. Put it in a book.
I mean, we found out recently that Mark conned his way onto the first film set anyway, just to get an acting audition, flubbing it, and then just being on set to hand his resume in to somebody else to get a different job.
Hey.
So
absolutely.
It worked. It's part of the path that led him here to Con Air the podcast.
It's called hustling. You hustle and you read the room.
That's right.
Man, I wish I could have worked on Con Air. That'd have been cool. Because seeing Nick Cage just doing pull-ups, just heckling John Malkovich. Yeah. I wouldn't have wanted to do first team on this. That would have been annoying. I probably would have wanted to work with like backgrounds. Like I would have been the guy who gets the 47 cops who surround this bus.
Yeah, and get them all to stand in exactly a perfect circle facing outward. They're sand dusters.
So there have to be more guards on the bus. Otherwise, they could just escape somehow. No one's looking at them.
Get your sand jackets on, fellas. Oh. So, Jay, how many guard? 13?
I counted 17, but then I reckon there's 22. Because there's going to be some on the other side of the bus. And then
there's a solid 5 behind.
Yeah, and then a couple more probably on the bus as well. So maybe like 25.
Just inflating the egos of all these criminals.
You know, I will tell you what I miss in this sequence, and you'll have to correct me if they come back to it. I don't feel like they did. When this movie begins, you get the very much roll call. Like Cusack is telling you exactly who each of them are, giving you a synopsis of their rap sheet, why they're significant, why they're on this plane, etc., etc. This transfer here, where you get your 6 off and your 10 on, I kind of wanted that for these extra 10 guys who are being loaded on to the plane, and we get to know a couple of them here and there. Some of them are significant, some are not, but you know, because the original upfront guys on the plane got this huge what Suicide Squad did poorly. You know, I would have liked that. Like, what is Swamp Thing's deal?
I can tell you because as an interview with MC Gainey, who we're talking about MVPs of the film, he's up there in the shortlist for me. I love MC Gainey in this. He did an interview where Swamp Thing is his favourite character that he's played.
And why wouldn't he be?
Exactly. Because he said, in a movie that has so many villains, take a look at my character closely. Not that it supports the weight of a careful examination, and you'll see that I don't really get in it. You'll see I don't really get in anyone's face. I don't really kill anyone. I'm not really a bad guy. I'm just a guy who likes to fly. He made the mistake of landing his plane full of controlled substances in the wrong place and finds himself in the system. So that's it. So he was flying a plane full of drugs. And didn't end well.
That's great.
He's kind of like the Blythe from The Great Escape, where he just kind of gets shot down on a joyride kind of thing.
And he gets called white trash, and he laughs with it. Yeah. He's like, I get to fly a plane. This is great in a sandstorm.
And then he did mention, in terms of bad guys, though, the character I played in Breakdown, which has come up several times on this episode, on this podcast, was a very bad human being. Nothing redeeming about that character. So yeah, I love MC Gainey in this. He's great. He knows what he looks like.
He's a serial killer in Breakdown.
He seems super happy when he's getting off the bus. He's already aware of the plan. He knows exactly what's happening. Not shocked when he gets on the plane. Without direction or command from anyone, goes exactly about his business, right to the cockpit, pulls out the transponder, hooks it up to the battery, hands it over to Pinball. Like, this is a dude who was in on the plan, knows what's happening, and is following exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Great. Yeah, he seems super happy about it.
Because I mean, he said in another interview that he knows what he looks like. He knows he doesn't look like a lawyer or a priest. He said
there's nothing wrong with being typecast if you're okay with what you're typecast as.
To quote, "I've got a face that was meant for a mugshot."
Accurate.
I play cowboys, bikers, and convicts. If I play a cop, it's always a racist cop or a trigger-happy cop or a crooked cop. So he knows what he's doing, and he does it well. I think
when you embrace that, I feel like you can be happier because, like M. Night Shyamalan was talking about that. He's like, I didn't want to be the thriller guy, and then eventually he went, I do want to be the thriller guy, and then he made The Village and Split. Now he's paying for his own movies and making bank because he realized he liked his lane. So, yeah, MC Gainey realized that early on. I appreciate that about him. I also love him in Club Dread. He has one of my all-time favorite lines where he says, someone always tries to crap in the apple pie. There's another word, but it just makes me happy that he said it.
So you say we don't know what the other inmates did. We know what Cindino did because we had a little introduction to him earlier where he's part of a drug cartel.
Right.
We don't know anyone else. And I'm really mourning today the loss of a site I've been using quite a lot recently, which is the Con Air Wiki, because that listed all of the convicts, or at least it did, up until the Wikipedia page closed this past week.
Oh.
I'm like, we're only 13 chapters into this podcast. Can you not wait another 27 weeks?
Oh, do you want my seating chart? I have all the guys on this.
But it had background information on them.
Got it.
It had stuff people had passed from interviews and everything elsewhere, and it's gone. I don't know. There must have been more traffic on this site recently than ever before because it's the 25th anniversary. This podcast exists now. I've been using it every week, but it's gone, and I don't know why, and I'm sad.
Maybe there's a rift between the people who created the page.
They
just stopped it.
It must be. So we meet something. We meet Cindino, and then we meet briefly Conrad, Viking, and Sally Can't Dance, the three others that we actually see get on the plane.
What is Sally Can't Dance in for?
Oh,
it's a very good question.
Okay,
unconfirmed.
Computer hacking, because I love the movie Hackers.
In 1997?
Yeah, because Renoli Santiago was in Hackers.
Of course, yes.
I'm freaking.
Are they in for the same thing that they were in for in Daylight as well? Because I have to mention Daylight when they have because they're one of the convicts in Daylight.
Really?
Yeah. There's that prison bus which they're all chained up into, and it gets like flipped, and there's a fire outside of it. They have to get out of it. Renoli Santiago's on that bus.
Wow.
I think they're the one who films Viggo Mortensen when he tries to make his escape attempt that doesn't end very well for him.
Mm-hmm.
Santiago had a great run between 95 and 97. Dangerous Minds, Hackers, Daylight, and Con Air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Daylight.
No arguments.
No one puts Daylight on any other. I swear I bring it up more than anybody else on any podcast ever.
So what do you think about what did Sally Can't Dance do to get into? I know we're going to talk about it later, but we can do it now.
Because we've made the pact that whenever an inmate dies, we cover it. Sally Can't Dance survives this film.
Yeah, you are 100% right.
So we can talk about it now if you want.
I do like the idea of computer hacking. I find that hilarious because it connects the two movies and forces you to then do Hackers next. The other thing that I enjoy...
Hard pass. Not doing it. Not happening. No chance.
The idea of something totally out of character. I don't know, insurance fraud? Or just this terrible string of murders.
Oh, wait, insurance fraud that leads to murders?
Yes.
What'd you go to jail for? Insurance fraud and murder.
Murder. Mainly the insurance fraud.
By hacking.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
Well,
Now this, yes.
it's
Wait.
not mentioned in the script, but Sally Carnance's first lines of the film, they're described in the script as stepping from the bus is a skinny Latin boy in hairnet and eyeliner, high cheekbones and full lips, between genders, his hormone shots just starting to take hold. They call her Sally Can't Dance. Johnny 23 isn't too crazy about shaking her down. To which Sally Can't Dance is like, hello baby, you can be the rose of my Spanish Harlem. And Johnny 23's response is, get the F on the plane, Yoto, or Joto. And Sally Can't Dance is classy, very, very classy, and he gets on the plane. Which I bring into question, why is Johnny 23 amongst the ground crew of this team?
Yeah.
Why is he one of the ones
you want on the ground?
That's a really good question.
Let's give this guy one of the uniforms and put him in charge of things in front of all of these other actual guys.
Because I feel like everyone on the plane, everyone has been very clear about the fact, like, this dude is not great.
This is,
And
bad
no
news.
no one is a fan of his. And yet somehow they're like, oh yeah, go ahead, put on this uniform. You're going to be out here on the ground crew with us. Also, as much as we all love Danny Trejo, no one is going to buy that dude as a cop.
No. I understand Diamond Dog, Billy Bedlam, Cyrus, the main three, part of the ground crew, perfect sense.
Sure.
And like Poe isn't, because he was almost going to get off the plane, and he's just hanging out on the plane. I love that when they come in and he's just
Posing.
He's just chilling there. It's great. But yeah, Johnny 23 is going to be bottom of the list in terms of people that you want out there. Pimple's got his own role. He's got to hide the transponder. I get it.
I think the mood would just go down if Johnny 23 came outside. Like it would just he's like a dementor. Like everyone would just feel cold. And the life from everyone would just get sucked out of them. And you would need to eat chocolate.
Credit to his skill, because probably the furthest thing from his real life person,
Yeah.
where that dude is all about having a good time and spreading good times to everyone else and doing whatever he can to be good to everyone.
We have
Great guy.
We have praised Trejo before and his incredibly difficult but incredibly incredible life that he's led.
Have either of you had the pleasure of eating at Trejo's Tacos?
Not yet.
I have not.
I have. They're delicious.
Good to hear.
Out west?
Yes.
Nice.
Very expensive, but delicious.
I found most taco boutiques are quite expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Well, and they're street tacos, so they're small too. So you think, well, I'm gonna want like a dozen of these.
$23? Like, I get the gag, but
it should be $600.
Yeah. Shut up. It should be $600. Fair enough. You got me. That was good. I do want to give some props to Nick Chinlund too for his grabbing work in this chapter. He is aggressively grabbing people, and he goes after Falzone. I loved it. Like, that's some aggressive grabbing. Like, he went method in that moment, and I was really impressed with Billy Bedlam.
He doesn't care that Poe is trying to do something. He doesn't check that Poe's got the picture back. He's just, get him off this plane. Let's go. Yeah.
It's that guy who insulted me about being in my cage.
That's a nice cage.
I love that scene. Just admiring your cage. Just admiring your cage. Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, that's Matthew McConaughey.
He's going to be good. Probably not. All right, another guy who maybe shouldn't be on the ground crew then.
Oh, yeah. Let's shoot our way out. No, Billy!
I mean, they're all criminals of some kind. They're all
really, I
the
guess
worst of the
none
worst.
None of them is the ideal choice for this plan, and yet they do seem to pull it off.
They do.
This is a good chapter. This is
a great chapter. There's a lot of stuff happening. Great visuals, great music, sets up a lot of other stuff. The discovery of that's kind of at the end of the chapter, but discovery of the items in Cyrus's cell.
Yes. His little notebook.
Little notebook filled with plane diagrams.
Yes.
I wish that there was like a heart in there with an X through it and just little goblins. Like I wish that Cyrus doodled.
You want more doodles than are actually in there.
Yeah, kind of a Da Vinci kind of thing, like a perfect rose in the margin. Of his notebook.
I doodle a lot, and I would like to know that Cyrus the Virus is a doodler.
He designed a helicopter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just you go through, and it has like a guy shooting a zombie in the head if you shoot through the pages really quick.
Flick book in the corners up. Great.
Wait, it shows the cop digging through the the perfect plastering that he does, and then the prison exploding,
and it looks like
the guy
the
is flicking through it.
It actually looks like the guy.
What? It's like Spaceballs. They start looking back and forth with the camera. Wait, what? This is some Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes stuff right here.
So I couldn't. The copy I have is standard def, so I couldn't work out what was written in the notebook. But I did pause it for a very long time on the letter that he has from the law firm. Now,
yes,
I don't speak Spanish, but Google does. So I took time to, as much as I could, transcribe this letter, and I took a screenshot from next week's chapter as well.
What did you learn?
So this is an actual letter from a law firm that says, "Dear Mr. Grit," it's from the jurisdictional branch of Amano and Rosario, which my first port of call is always, they must be names in the script somewhere. They're not, sadly. There's no one called Amano or Rosario worked on Connor. Anyway, dear Mr. Grissom, we are very sorry to inform you that your great uncle, and there's a name I can't work out, has passed away. Oh. As you know, so this is all broken because it kind of fades out of focus towards the right hand side of the letter. Some bits are cut off. But basically, his great uncle's dead. The letter is all about his inheritance, which is being split between somebody called Peter and I don't know what. Not sorry, Peter is the sole heir to his belongings, Peter. And they need in penny instructions I can work out. Take care of your will and provisions. We are happy to inform you that we have. Charge you a will. It's all broken sentences. It's not very satisfying. But the fact that it's an actual full letter that makes sense. I mean,
someone took the time to really craft a thing.
Which I mean, we pointed out recently that the Pinball's clipboard has the correct names in order of the prisoners on it, which is on screen for a second and never in focus.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do.
And it's we urgently need to finish this matter as soon as possible. We are pleased to be of service at this difficult time for you. We hope from this date to start an excellent relationship that allows us to render the services for any urgency. It is no pleasure to lose service at this difficult time for you. Bear in mind, this is Google Translate, so it might not be perfect, but the gist is there. And I was just impressed. I mean, I cannot tell if the eyes cut from the letter actually line up with anything. That's beyond what I can do with this DVD copy of Con Air. But all the letters are there. It's what I can do. They're there in various places. So, but
fantastic. I love it.
This is some Nick Cage National Treasure work you're doing here. Did you use lemons on this when you were researching?
I was doing it all on my laptop, so I tried not to.
But you did have a picture of the Last Supper where you cut out faces and then held it up to your laptop and then translated it, right?
Well, I started out cutting out with my laptop screen, and I regret that. I need to get a new one now. But we have confirmation that this is definitely happening in 1997. That the 8 years he was in prison began in 1989. He saw Roadhouse and went to prison, and then because the letter is dated 15th of April 97. So this isn't a case of he was discharged from the army in 97 and now we're in 2005. But this is 8 years within the past. This is now the year the film came out. So that's confirmed. We know what it is.
Did you catch anything else from your free? What are some other freeze frame highlights from this chapter, Jay?
That's the main one. That's why. Is that not enough?
No, that's great. No, it's beautiful. No, it's
yeah, that's some fantastic work. I did not bother with that. So
but why not? Why?
Well, I was a little more distracted by the plane diagrams. I wish I had taken the time to really dig into those.
They're never in focus is the problem. I tried to, and it's like chicken scratch. Text.
We have to assume that, like, the location of the transponder was on there, the location where each of the prisoners are going to be, I would hope the first aid kit, cages.
I mean, my guess is he's not going to have the transponder on there because he's just going to assume Swamp Thing knows what he's doing. Like Cyrus,
which he does.
Yeah, Cyrus seems to me the kind of guy who he knows people's skills and how to utilize them, and so he's. Like, Swamp Thing and Cindino seem to have been in the same prison because they're on the same bus. So they probably communicated with each other in the same way that Cyrus, Pinball, and Diamond Dog probably communicated in Vacaville they're in. Yeah. So, yeah, he's just like, Cindino's got a guy. Everyone knows Swamp Thing. Everyone knows Swamp Thing. Like, they recognize each other by sight somehow. They've served time together somehow.
A project manager. He has assembled a team, made use of their skills, and he's going to pull off this crazy plan.
He's a very good project man. That's the correct word. I was trying to think of what he was. But yeah, he puts together a great crew. Real quick. When Pinball gets off the plane,
oh boy,
wasn't it encircled, or did they stop circling it and line up to get the prisoners out when they were walking?
Well, that's why he pops out that hole in the bottom.
Yeah, he comes out underneath the plane. Which, how?
Yeah, excellent question. And then follow-up question: can we talk about that lunchbox?
Yes, we can.
Walks
We should.
past
We
an
must.
open truck, grabs the lunchbox. Is that? He seems to just grab it as he walks past the truck as a moment of opportunity. But is he aware he's going to need it?
It's like a ladder on set.
Yes.
Is
he hoping there's food in it that he's going to eat later? Is he going to use it as a distraction? Why? Why is my question. Why was the truck open? Why does he grab the lunchbox? It's all a bit confusing.
Okay.
Because the movie makes such a point of pointing you at this lunchbox and making you notice that he took the lunchbox.
What do we know about Pinball's rap sheet? What is he?
Good guy, arsonist,
petty thief.
Oh, he just can't help himself.
He just can't help himself.
He just can't keep his hands to himself.
Yeah, he sees a lunchbox, he takes it, it's his. But
it's like perfect. If you see a runaway criminal, you two are cops, right? And I'm going to give you two different criminals. One's a criminal who's just running down the street, walking down the street, nothing in his hands. Then you see another criminal with a lunch pail. That, they're both dressed as cops. So you're like, a criminal's loose. Which one seems guiltier?
There's so much in this scenario to unpack.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
why am I a cop? Number two, how do I know that they are both criminals and not cops?
You and Jay are cops, right? You're working in Louisiana.
No, you've lost me already.
A prisoner transport plane landed, and one prisoner escaped. Y'all are in the surrounding town, and you hear about two prisoners escaped. You're in a surrounding town. You hear it on the radio. 2 prisoners have escaped, dressed as cops. It's like, okay, so we know that there's 2 prisoners who are dressed as cops. You see one walking one way, and you see another one. This is a terrible joke. I'm going to be quiet. This isn't working. This is bad. All I was trying to say is, I don't know. I like his idea. Like, it's good. It's it's like those guys who dressed up like janitors and walked into what were they walk into?
Minions.
Oh, and they stole $50 million worth of art.
There someone who tried to rob a casino like that?
Yeah, it's just you walk in. There's a guy who got into the White House because he just followed a band. And so the band thought he was part of the White House staff, and the White House staff thought he was part of the band.
He was just carrying a ladder for the drum kit,
so
as you do. Yeah.
This guy, he has a lunch pail. Like, he's like, and the lie works better, too. I was just trying to get out of that sand. I don't want sand in my sandwich.
Also, we don't know if there's any food on the plane. He could just be hungry.
Yeah.
This could just literally be like, oh my god, sandwiches, let's go. But I gotta say, he's not a petty thief, he's an armed robber. I got that wrong. I've checked.
Oh.
But still, same category.
Jeanette, can you come back and let me come up with a better scenario? During the fire truck chase, I am going to have a better situation for the 2 of you.
You won't be a cop, you'll be a firefighter at that time.
I do not like...
Don't stop with the 2 of you are cops.
The 2 of you are cops in Louisiana. You're grizzled.
Drop your donut, head off to the fire truck.
Your home life is terrible. You've been through 3 marriages. You're one of those cops who everyone knows that you're bad news, but you kind of have a good heart. You're like Jack Nicholson from As Good as It Gets. You're absolutely horrible, but
always kind of smell like whiskey.
But eventually you're kind of like, oh, but I do have a soft interior, even though I beat up perps. And so, you're all around bad. You always have to dip in your mouth.
Better, Mark.
You are.
It's getting worse.
You constantly steal. You're like Harvey Keitel. You go to from Bad Lieutenant. You go to.
Wait. You don't go for the Nick Cage Bad Lieutenant?
No, Harvey Keitel's the real bad one. Both of them. You go stare at iguanas. You steal cocaine. You run around the town. You're a detective now, and so you have a great suit. But yeah, you definitely use the badge. You use the badge. The badge is your only source of power anymore because your life is spiraled out of control so far into drugs, gambling, murder, and addiction.
Am I still in Louisiana?
Yes, you're still in Louisiana. Your partner is Nick Cage, and you see somebody.
So wait, you're Val Kilmer?
Or is this where I'm like 3 days from retirement?
Yeah, you're 3 days from retirement, and you see a person in a jumpsuit with a lunch pail walking down the street, and then you see another person just wearing a jumpsuit. Which one are you gonna? Well, you'll probably arrest both because you're a terrible cop. You're just gonna harass anybody, and so you'll just get lucky. Because
if I could take a step back and sum up the question, your question is, does carrying a lunchbox make someone look less guilty? That's the question you're asking.
Your character is $40,000 in debt.
Oh my god.
You don't know how to pay it back. You're double or nothing on the let's see, you're in Louisiana, so on the Saints, you have double or nothing on them, winning by 14. You're just all about LSU Tigers. That's your life.
You need to win that money to pay the child support payments, or your ex-wife's she's moving to France, taking the kids with her.
Yep. And she lives with her sister, who you just hate, Janice, And
do you think the lunchbox makes them look more or less guilty?
Yes.
Factoring all of that in.
When you put it like that, yes, a lunchbox makes someone look more innocent.
There we go.
See, we did it. Now I don't have to drop this on you again. And I was going to save this for the ending of the episode, but since I already derailed it, I'm changing my name, Jay. I'm no longer Mark the Capricious Slaughterer Hoffmeyer.
Yeah, okay.
I am now Mark the Catapult Killer Hoffmeyer.
The Catapult Killer, I like it. Okay.
Yeah. So basically what it is people are like just out and about, and I planted a catapult in the ground, and then they step on it. I have like some leaves over it, and it just shoots them 75 yards. That's my whole thing.
You leave a trebuchet trap.
If you were going to use a trebuchet, you could probably get them to go further.
Yeah, but I'm not the trebuchet troublemaker. That's already been taken. I am the catapult killer with a C.
Can I be your slingshot psychic?
Yes. The slingshot psychic? Something's about to hit you. Where?
Told you.
The trebuchet troublemaker and the catapult killer. That sounds like a Dexter season.
John Lithgow is. So Jeanette, how do you rate Pimble's flirting?
How low does the scale go? -7?
He's out of practice. Give him some credit.
The repeated use of the word baby, absolutely not. Under no circumstances. I'm from the Department of Corrections. Nope, absolutely not. 100% out on that. Yeah, this is a restricted area. Yeah, don't worry about it, baby. Nope. Call the cops. Yeah.
What's the difference between 97 flirting or 2022 flirting?
Across the board, it's bad.
Right. Yeah, it's -7. You're right. There's a lot of red going on in that scene.
He is throwing red flags at her.
And she's wearing the red outfit.
Yeah.
Run away.
Yes. Swiftly.
With Tom Selleck.
I'm sorry, what is the character's name one more time?
Female baggage handler. I think that is this character. I couldn't think of anybody else who could be classed as female baggage handler in the film. I realized...
No, because it's Uncle Bob's
Scenic Tours.
Now, is she an employee of Uncle Bob, or is she an employee of the airport?
Well, the red matches the red.
Sorry,
her uniform matches the plane, I should clarify. So, I mean, it would make sense, but I don't think she's on the plane later. So she could be part of the ground crew, or I don't know what other roles there are for this.
Uncle Bob needs help.
Dawn Bluford plays female baggage handler. 7 acting credits to her name. This is the only one that I've seen. Meet the Deedle, she's in Angels in the Attic, The Runner, The Climb, Stella. TV movie, No Laughing Matter. But there's no...
Angels in the Attic, the sequel to Angels in the Outfield, right?
Could be, or prequel, I don't know.
Can I drop something about Angels in the Outfield real quick?
Okay, I have confirmed this is definitely Dawn Bluford by doing an image search.
Hey, good.
Please proceed.
All right, so Angels in the Outfield. Angels help the Anaheim Angels. They're last place, and Angels intervene to get them into the playoffs and eventually win the pennant.
Hang on.
But
I haven't seen this film, sorry. Are you telling me that the film Angels in the Outfield is literally about angels playing baseball?
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey is in it, Adrian Brody.
The team, the Angels.
I thought it was a metaphor of some kind.
Nope.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's a remake. Joseph Gordon-Levitt praise, and then the bird lady, Brenda, the lady bird lady from Home Alone is Brenda Fricker?
Brenda Fricker. Yeah.
She's the kindly orphanage home keeper. I don't know the word, but yeah. But see, here's the thing: these Angels, the Anaheim never would have made it into the playoffs. So they help Anaheim get into the playoffs, which costs other teams from getting so they would have been in last place. So another team would have gotten in the playoffs instead of them. So by helping out the Angels, they're really keeping the revenue of another squad, another city, more employees. They're costing another city money. And then they're like, but we're not going to help in the final round. Just go all the way. Like if you're going to get them into a pennant race from last place, just cheat. Like the sixth man does it too. They're like, this ghost isn't going to help us in the final, even though they wouldn't have made it to the final. And like Air Bud, that happens. And then also in Teen Wolf, a werewolf gets in the state championships and he's like, I'm just going to play as a boy. Like just cheat all the way. Don't just cheat. Like cheat in the final. Like
but at some point you have to learn the lesson.
You already cheated teams. Teams did not make this playoff, this matchup because of you being a werewolf. Like you already cheated of a nice squad because there's no rule. It's insane. What kind of family? Imagine having a kid on a high school basketball team and they play against a werewolf.
Well, first you got to update his rabies shots, and then you have to make sure that there's no shedding on the floor. Someone's going to have to be sweeping a lot faster.
The thing's doing flips and slam dunking.
Restock the silver bullets just in case.
Just cheat. Imagine if it was like Benicio del Toro's Wolfman or Anthony Hopkins' Wolfman, just like wiping poor children off the. That's brutal. Yikes. Never mind.
That's an entirely different movie.
Yeah.
I've been distracted by another film that Dawn Bluford is in called The Runner from '99. Anyone familiar with The Runner from '99?
No.
A compulsive gambler finds his new family safety seriously threatened by a ruthless gambling boss, starring Ron Eldard, the guy who turns blind in Deep Impact. Joe Mantegna, Courtney Cox, Bokeem Woodbine, David Arquette plays a bartender, and the character of Deep Throat, played by John Goodman.
That's quite a cast.
This film does not exist.
Who directed this?
Ron Moeller. Yes, that is the correct response to that name.
Ron Moeller.
Also, this is the only film that he directed this and Local Boys in 2002.
Which he partnered with his buddy Dave Bicuspid. That's some quality dental humor for you guys.
Local Boys stars Mark Harmon, Eric Christian Olsen. Trying to find another name I recognize in this list. Not finding anything else I recognize. Nope. Two brothers and their surfing buddies face new challenges and adventures over the course of a memorable summer. I don't think I'm going to watch that film. But I'm just amazed at how many films exist that do not exist.
Yes.
Time has passed them by.
Sounds like I would cover them on MFF.
It definitely sounds like Todd would cover them on Forgotten Films.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like The Runner is a perfect candidate for the Forgotten Film cast.
Does he do literally forgotten films, though? Just lost to time films?
Lost to time, but available on DVD somewhere, I think.
Got it.
Hopefully. So the other, I just want to give a quick shout out to the other. We meet the convict called Conrad, who I thought, they've named him because the actor Conrad Good is playing him. No. The actor Conrad Good is playing Viking. Conrad played by Brendan Kelly. So this is just going to be confusing here on out because the character of Conrad was named in the script and is quite vocal before he gets on the plane about his intentions in terms of killing and sexually assaulting any guards he comes across. Not in the order that you might think it is. And is thrilled when he gets on board. He's played by Brendan Kelly. And he's been in a bunch of stuff. He's in The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah. He's in the Lizzie McGuire movie, Cellular, that kind of thing. But Conrad Good, hell of a career on this guy. His first action role, SNL. An episode of Saturday Night Live, hosted by Danny DeVito and musical guest The Bangles. He plays Big Red, the Viking, in the commercial for Big Red, which is on YouTube, which he's like a Viking guy who breaks into these kids' house and gives them the toy Big Red, which is about a 1.5 foot tall Viking that spins around squirting a red blood-like substance all over the place.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That sounds very familiar.
Kevin Nealon is the dad. He gets covered in stuff. It gives a classic kind of Kevin Nealon, "Oh, you kids," kind of response to it all. That was his first acting job. Another acting role he had was in a 1992 commercial for Air Jordan with Nike, in which he also starred alongside Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny, because Conrad Good was the first actor the first real human actor to interact with Bugs Bunny on screen.
Interesting.
Wow.
Because in the commercial, they're playing basketball in a court that for some reason is above Bugs Bunny's bed and seems to disturb Bugs quite a lot. Bugs comes out of a hole and Conrad Good picks him up and pulls him out of the hole. So he is the first person to literally touch Bugs Bunny. And then it's not the subtlest of acting in this shoe commercial, but there's a lot of laughing at Bugs Bunny, and then they're all attracted to him when he dresses as a girl, that kind of thing. It's on YouTube. It's fun, and the ad is for Hair Jordans because he's a rabbit. So,
oh boy.
Yeah. Anyway,
Excellent.
Did Pitka? I think Pitka directed that, right? And then he went on to direct Space Jam.
I think it was Godard actually did this one.
Godard. Imagine that.
Oh, Conrad Good played in the NFL.
Yes, he did. I was going through his. In 2007, he was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, having played for the New York Giants, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and was an offensive lineman in '83 out of the University of Washington. So yeah, he's been in sports, been in actors, a bunch of stuff, and he was recently at there's a live screening of Con Air in California somewhere, and he was one of the people presenting at that.
And he also helped with the Con Air seating chart.
Yes, and that means that we will try and get him on the show.
We already have an end. Like, hey, help me on the Con Air seating chart.
Yeah, he's one of the things I can remember from that Con Air wiki was that he's known as the dumbest prisoner.
Wow.
Because he's the guy who's like, yeah, what's that? That's a rock. He's that guy. So, and he does have a particularly kind of gormless expression when he walks onto the plane, where like Brendan Kelly, Conrad is like, "Hey, we got the plane!" Conrad is just like, strongly.
He's again very pleased at the situation, wrapped up in his own thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, you think you're going to go onto a plane to go to prison for probably the next, the rest of your life.
You're the worst of the worst. And
then you realize that the plane's been taken over. You're going to be pretty stoked.
Yeah.
Man. Does nobody recognize Cyrus the Virus?
Apparently not.
No, because he's definitely out there in one of the sand duster coats.
But he takes his mask down.
Around his face,
yeah, he takes his mask down.
Yeah, it seems like if you were a prison guard and you knew that this very famous, well-known prisoner was on this plane, you would be aware of what he looked like. And as soon as he takes his mask, you'd be like, "Hey, wait a minute! You're Cyrus the Virus.
You should be in a cage."
Hey, you know what? You look just like Cyrus the Virus.
I get it all the time.
That guy's really nice.
And efficient. What a planet.
Handsome fella right here.
Wait, real quick. Jeanette, how would you rate Con Air, The Rock, and Face Off?
Isn't that the Nick Cage Holy Trinity of action movies?
It is.
Yep,
indeed.
It's either the Tank Top. Wait, no, it's the Prison or
the
Beige
Volvo
trilogies.
Yeah.
Boy, I find there's not much separation between them. I find them all to be very, very similar, equally as enjoyable. The kind of movie that's, if it's on TV and you stumble across it on a Saturday afternoon, you'll probably watch the rest of it. Boy. You know what? I'm going to say Face Off, Con Air, The Rock.
Oh.
Okay, what is it about Face Off that puts it number one for you?
The John Woo-ness of it.
Yeah. See, I'm Face Off number one too.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm Face Off number
Face
one.
Off number one too.
Face Off number one.
Face Off number one too.
Yeah, also the fact that in the movie Spy, Jason Statham immediately goes on a tangent about the Face Off machine.
Yeah. It takes quarters. I'm gonna pay to use it. I love that scene. We always quote this all the time. She's like, where'd you get that suit? And he's like, I made it, didn't I?
Didn't I?
We say that all the time. Megan, my wife Megan and I were like,
Aggressive.
I made it, didn't I?
God, that movie
Did
just
he
made
make it?
Want him in so many more comedies where he can just be aggressively hilarious.
Yeah. I love Spy. You know, one of the biggest questions I have is whether they wrote she's wearing a slutty dolphin trainer outfit or she was wearing an outfit and Melissa McCarthy or Paul Feig just improv'd, you look like a slutty dolphin trainer.
Oh, I'm sure that was an improv. You don't accidentally write that kind of brilliant.
But that's such a specific outfit for her to be wearing, then.
Well, that's true.
I feel like it's the first option where they wrote that, and then some poor costume person had to then make a slutty dolphin trainer outfit that would function as evening wear or just like daily day wear.
If that was true, I would go run 6 miles right now because that would make me so happy. Because that's my favorite line. You look like a slutty dolphin trainer. It's hilarious. It's the best. Now I want to see Rose Byrne in Rust and Bone, where she gets her leg bit off and becomes a bare knuckle boxing promoter.
That's not. Isn't that?
That's right.
I thought it was somebody else.
Matthias Schoenaerts. And the lady who does the really dramatic death in The Dark Knight Rises. Marion Cotillard.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was.
God.
Yeah.
That's the take they used.
You picked, Christopher
That's
Nolan?
the take they used.
Yeah. She said that in an interview, too. She's like, I did other takes, and that's the one he used. I wonder if she owes him money.
Yeah.
I think the debt is cleared now. Yeah.
We're good. We're even.
Yeah.
We're even.
I did this to you. We're good.
Remember that time you put 2% instead of oat milk into my milk or my coffee? Well, we're even now.
This is a part of film history. Enjoy.
Yeah.
So I have one final note, which the C123K transponder is the correct transponder for the plane model. Again, another bit of detail that I like they put in. That's the model of the plane. It's the same model plane as seen in Air America, Outbreak, Operation Dumbo Drop, and American Made. Also episodes of Nash Bridges and Burn Notice. They all use this kind of plane. And they all have that transponder in them, presumably. And I love all the wires. It makes me feel Kumba Gruber. Like, this is a lot of wires. There's so many. And he's doing the orange and the black? That's... Okay.
It's
Fine.
usually red and green.
Yeah.
I feel like you always hear about the red and green wires. You never hear about the orange and black wires.
I mean, if he's wiring it to a battery, then it'll be a positive and a negative. So you'd be thinking it's going to be like red and black or brown and blue.
Sure.
But he's going for orange and black, and he knows what he's doing, so fine.
He knows what he's doing. It all seems to work.
Yep. Great. Good for him.
Let me consult my notes. Anything else that just that Simon West directed 2 episodes of Keen Eddie, which is a show that I love.
Oh, what? What is this?
It's with that guy.
The guy. Okay. From the
the
thing?
guy who is Mark Valley.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
I don't know, but if you see him, you're like, that's that guy.
And Sienna Miller. And wait, is that her
Julian
name?
Rim-Tut.
Yes. And Colin Salmon, right?
Oh my God, Colin Salmon. Alexi Sale.
Have you not seen any of Keen
I've
Eddie?
never heard of this show.
Oh, I feel like you might enjoy it.
But this isn't. Okay, so there's so many British people in it.
It's set
okay.
in,
Yeah,
he's a cop who ends up going over there and working for a police department in London for some reason. I don't remember why.
I'm looking at Mark Valley.
He's also in Stolen.
I don't recognize his face. He looks like
he's a very generic-looking dude.
He looks like Thomas Jane and Thomas Hayden Church kind of merged together.
Accurate.
And used all of their chins to make his mega chin.
He's a very serious jawline.
He was in 70 episodes of Boston Legal. Oh, he's got syndication money going on right now. I like it. And he was in Human Target too. They kept trying to put him in shows and Harry's Law. Wait, no. And Body Approved.
He's in five episodes of ER, but so's everyone, so that's not really helping me. He did a voice in Shrek the Third as a Cyclops. Again, not helping. But yeah, he's in Zero Dark 30 as a pilot, so he's probably wearing a helmet and goggles at some point. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this guy's face in anything.
If I remember correctly, he has some real-life military experience, and so he ended up in a couple of those kind of movies because he had that experience. And he feels very Steve Rogers-y. Like, he feels very Captain America-y.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good chin
But
work.
no ass to speak of, which, as you know, is the defining characteristic of Captain America now.
Indeed.
So.
Oh, brother.
Oh, Julian Rentart is called Inspector Monty Pippin. That's
Yes, he is.
Very fitting.
And he does steal most of the scenes that he's in. I don't think that will surprise you.
Of course. He's great in Green Wing. He's great in Green Wing. Green Wing's a fun show that no one talks about. It's a British comedy, a British sitcom set in a hospital, which apparently doctors and nurses say is the most realistic and accurate depiction of hospitals on screen, which is terrifying.
Really?
Because it's anarchic. There'll be a scene where someone's just walking a llama around for no reason.
Of course.
But it's like Olivia Colman's in it, Tamsin Greig, Mark Heap, Stephen Mangan. It's Patterson Joseph. There's so many like great people. Sally Phillips, great people from different things. And it's bonkers, and I recommend it. And there's only like 18 episodes.
All right.
Green Wing, check it out. So Jeanette, do you have any more thoughts about Con Air, this chapter, or the film as a whole?
No, that was I had just consulted my list, and amazing all the stuff you white trash know that I would. Yes, that is surprising.
That's right.
That's right. So yeah, that was. I really appreciate this chapter. I thought a lot happened in a short amount of time, and it looked great. Great looking chapter.
And I do enjoy Pimble's hello. Yeah, it's terrible flirting. But I like that he just wasn't expecting to see a lady, and he saw one, and that's his response. And more of that will continue next week.
And we're not done. We're doing a quick matchup where you two are picking squads that movies that feature sandstorms.
Oh.
And so we have a matchup. So
okay,
Jeanette, you're the guest, so you pick first, then Jay.
The Mummy.
God damn it!
Each.
God
5.
Damn it! That's the
So
one I
the
can
Mummy
think
99.
of. That's the one.
What are you talking about? The Mummy 99, the Mummy.
Okay,
Oh, the Mummy 2017, dummy.
No.
Okay, Mission
That
Impossible.
doesn't exist.
Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
All right.
That's the other one with Sandstorm in it.
No, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Disagree.
There's a whole IMDb list.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
wrote
find
down
it.
about 10 of them off the top of my head. There's some huge ones you're missing.
Okay, well, hold
It's
on.
not my turn yet.
Let me get to. If I just type in movies with sandstorms,
okay.
what
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, there's a whole
Yeah.
IMDb list.
Yeah. Okay.
There's some beast mode ones on here.
Oh boy. Oh, so I already have the Mummy.
Yeah, you've already won.
Wow, actually, Mummy 2017 is also on the list.
Yeah, she turns all the glass into sand.
Does she? I don't remember because that was not entertaining.
No,
to
it's a
me.
very bad film.
I
It's
will
a
do
very
Star
bad
Trek
film.
2, Wrath of Khan, of course.
Right, Wrath of Khan.
I would take Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh.
Because I am basic.
All right.
Oh, you know what? I'll take the Scorpion King. It's not great, but I'll take.
Yeah, this is a good one. It's a big sandstorm.
Oh.
I am going to go with Riddick. I really like Riddick.
Mhm.
All right, Riddick.
One guy and his dog.
Stargate.
Yep, Stargate.
Yes.
I have not seen Stargate.
What?
Yeah.
It's
Russell.
enjoyable. I think it's.
I'm going
Curly
to go with the original Flight of the Phoenix from '65.
Ooh, yeah.
Which I like the remake. The original was better. I've seen the remake more times because it's on TV more. Hugh Laurie is great in everything he's ever done, and makes Dennis Quaid bearable.
Tyrese is in that movie.
He is. He's great in it.
Mm-hmm.
And Giovanni Ribisi is a fun psycho kind of guy.
I have some Geo ribs. All right, so one last pick for each.
Oh, I was gonna say, did I hit 5 already? I get one more.
Mummy, Wrath of Khan, Scorpion King, Khan, and Stargate.
You know, I'm gonna go with. I'm already ashamed of myself. Gods of Egypt from
Yes.
2016. The movie that has 0 Egyptians in it. 0.
And 0 gods, to be fair.
It is top to bottom terrible.
Jerry Butler.
Jerry Butler is the
Chadwick
only one
Boseman.
trying and really having a good time. Everybody else is confused as to what's happening.
I love when there's always one that understands the movie, because then their performance is just a delight. Like, I'm in this. I'm going for it. I don't care.
For sure.
Okay.
Jay, take us home.
I'm trying to find a parallel film to that I've seen, and I'm struggling to find anything quite that bad.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Prince of Persia.
Never saw it.
Monster Hunter.
I haven't seen it.
There you go.
I got like half a scene in, and my wife was like, "Nope, we're not watching this." So I haven't circled back around. Oh. Yeah. I'll take John Carter. Of Mars or not, I can't recall, but John Carter. I'll take Noah Whaley in ER.
That was good. That was fun. I'm happy.
What did we miss that you would have taken, Mark? You never get to play.
Well, Dune has some good ones.
No.
Yeah.
Martian, 12 Strong. I probably would have.
Oh, The Martian. I think The Martian.
Yeah.
The Martian.
Monster Hunter. I love me some Monster Hunter. So I probably would have done that.
I haven't watched that yet. I wanted to.
It's Mila Jovovich and Tony Jaa just fighting each other.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah, and it's mostly them just fighting each other. And then the end. Okay, the end of Monster Hunter is very hard to make sense of. It kind of loses a lot of coherency towards the end. But if this was just a movie with two action icons, and I'm saying it, Mila Jovovich and Tony Jaa.
Oh, easily.
I mean, yeah, like just watching them fight while a bunch of kind of pitch black creatures attack them.
Oh.
Is like the first part of that movie is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think.
I just have to say, for the people who are listening and exploding inside their heads, of course Lawrence of Arabia. Yes, obviously Lawrence of Arabia, but we're not going to pick it. Just we know it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was our choice.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many dust storms in cinema. You're going to leave some out.
Yeah, but I guess I hadn't thought about it until the question came up.
I dropped this on you. I dropped a bunch of sand on you, and you guys you guys could have sunk.
Everywhere.
You guys could have sunk in that sand, but you didn't. You did great.
Coarse and rough and gets everywhere.
You know what? I grew up in Florida, and I can say that sand is terrible. So when he says that, I was like, "Amen, brother." Like, I wasn't worried about the acting. I got up and I started clapping in the theater. I was like, "I'm telling y'all, sand's terrible." So, and you
dumped on us from the high ground as well.
Oh.
This is not fair.
Everywhere. Man. You ever go to the beach and then get in your car? Horrible.
Yeah.
It is. The last time I was at the beach, there was a significant amount of wind. And I said, I'm going to be buffed smooth on account of all the blowing sand.
So, Jeanette, what have you got to plug?
Oh, honestly, I'm way behind in everything because it's just.
We need more reviews.
Yes, it's been very busy lately. So I am hoping to catch up. So if you go to my site, jwardadventures.blogspot.com, to read my movie reviews, I hope to backtrack. Listen, I haven't done Bullet Train yet, so that's in the works. Oh boy, Prey, which I enjoyed, so I want to write about that. There's a lot of them that I need to just kind of backtrack and catch up with. So hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have some new reviews posted.
And your dance troupe, don't you plug that?
Dance troupe right now, we are just picking back up. We had a huge event in August, and so we are picking back up, about to start a new session of classes this week. So if you're in the Milwaukee area and you want to start taking classes, this is a perfect time to get on it. I don't know when this is going to drop, so maybe that's not.
In about a month, maybe.
Oh, all right. Well, you can still, if you go to tamarindbelledance.com, you can find details. And when we teach, we've got Zoom options, so you don't have to be here with us. You can take it from wherever you happen to be. So, yes.
Excellent. And I forgot to say something. When DJ was on recently, he's like, sandstorm in Carson City, don't be ridiculous. Yes, there are sandstorms in Carson City. There was a dust storm in Carson City, Nevada, just 2 years ago. So they do happen. DJ, you're wrong about many things, including how good Con Air is. Mark, what have you got to plug?
Well, I know that we just Amber Midthunder. She's a great actress. I just want to plug her. I saw on one of your posts that you're a big fan of Amber Midthunder, and I'm a big fan of Legion.
Yeah, I made it through all of Legion, and let me tell you, towards the end, that got to be a bit of a struggle, but she was always fantastic.
She's a fighter. She fights.
Yeah.
And I love the Ice Storm, Hell or High Water. It just makes me so happy that she got a starring role in Prey because
and she was fantastic in it. And she also popped up on Reservation Dogs last week or the week
before.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
gosh. Oh, I got to watch that now. I got to get caught up on that. But yeah, I just got caught up on What We Do in the Shadows, so I need to get caught up on that.
Also excellent.
I haven't seen beyond season 1 of that show. So behind. There's too much TV.
Jagged Daytona, regular human bartender. So if you haven't gotten past season 1, that means you haven't seen Benedict Wong's episode yet.
This is true, because there's too much TV.
That is true, but honestly, first world problems. What a great problem to have.
Yes.
So yeah, Amber Midthunder. She's Midthunder. She's great. Let's see, what else do I have? I don't know. I gotta Walking into Mordor piece for film theorists you can check out.
But
that one's fun.
Isn't that the thing of the one doesn't simply do that?
Yeah. So they that's the whole point. But our channel, we go into it with kind of science. So I did a Quiet Place video, and as opposed to just blow up the animals with a rocket launcher, I got a decibel meter and I recorded all the walking sounds, and I figured out that they harvested corn in that movie. I figured out all the noises that attracted the animals, and we did a baseline of, you don't want to live near a lake in a cold area because noise travels sound travels. You want to live in, when it's hot, noise, the waves go up, so they don't travel as far. So we just went with science. And then in this one, I kind of did a breakdown of how long the hike would be based on current maps that are out. I did equivalent things like on the Appalachian Trail. We talked about through hiking and breaks. I talked about the terrain, the psychology of the Hobbit, the way that people looked at him, quotes from Tolkien. So it's a whole scientific breakdown of whether they simply walked to Mordor or not. So you can do that. And also, this is cool, but I was number 7 in MFF, Movie Stones and Flakes, was number 7 in Canada, and we were just number 1 in Ireland for film reviews on Apple Podcasts. So thank you. I'm just promoting. I don't care. I was very happy yesterday.
As you should be.
I was drowning in work, and then I saw it, and I just was elated. So number 1 in Ireland. So I don't know if you.
And then you enjoyed a Guinness to celebrate.
That's right. If you crossed over to Con Air because of MFF,
welcome.
Thank you all for listening. Yeah. It's man, that was cool. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was so nice. But yeah. Oh, and also Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. We just released The Sea Beast, a movie I adore.
Yes, and so Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. We've got episodes coming out on Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Master, Underwater, and a special bonus episode looking at the sea creatures in The Phantom Menace, which will be a fun one. We haven't recorded that yet. That's going to be fun. My site is lifeversusfilm.com, but nothing's happening there. You can hear me once a month over on hosting Lampardy on the Lambcast, the official podcast of the Dodge Association of Movie Blogs, otherwise known as the Lamb. So search Lambcast and find that. It's always a fun time. You can follow this podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ConAirPod. Email us conairpodcast@gmail.com if you have any suggestions or anything we've missed on any episode.
If you have a comment about lunchboxes and if they're good disguises.
Absolutely. We want to know. Do you think that they make you more or less guilty? We should do a poll. And there are, at the start of this scene, 13 cons in the air, but then they land. It says 18 cons in total in this chapter, but only 13 are ever in the air. That's just something I'm keeping track of. Good. So that'll do it for chapter 13 of Con Air. Thank you to our guest, Jeanette, for joining us.
Yes, lucky number 13. Thank you.
I have been Jake Lewis.
And I'm Mark Hoffmeyer.
Come back next week or the bunny gets it.
Sigh.
Anara.